Hello, survivors. I am a survivor of narcissistic abuse, survivor of a lot of health issues. I am a survivor of just like so many things. But I want to encourage you with something that has been my saving grace, which has really, really helped me. Besides reading books like Dr. Romney, It's Not You, and music is another great thing. And if you did not know that I am BTS Army, if you do not know who these phenomenal young men are, and if you don't even know what the term BTS is, like you need to get from underneath the rock you're under. But if you do know, leave in the comments below. But also, if you're a narcissistic survivor, abuse survivor, someone who's gone through the abuse of narcissism and is coming out of the other end or came out the other end, and you don't know who BTS is, I want to help you understand why it's important to listen to this music, and also maybe help you become an army. An army is someone who listens to K-pop, BTS, which is a K-pop group, and is one of their legions, millions of fans. The thing that I love the most about BTS, when I first fell down the rabbit hole, let me just start with that. What made me fall in love with BTS? Okay. The rabbit hole of BTS began when I was in a depression after I was going through some narcissistic abuse from my husband and his family. So at that point, I was very depressed, and I was looking at a video. No, it wasn't a video. That's not true. It was a commercial for the Samsung flip phone, the one that, I think it's the one that opens up like this, yeah. And this song Butter was with it, and there's this black girl who was in the subway, and she's looking at her phone, and she's all of a sudden seeing this beautiful Korean man and she starts looking at their video, and I'm like listening to them, and I'm thinking they sound really good, number one. Number two, they were dancing that reminded me of kind of like Motown dancing. And it wasn't just a boy band, because I mean, you've seen boy bands like, New Edition, or you may have seen, of course, the old school boy bands. But seeing a Korean person, I had no idea about K-pop at the time. Had no idea about K-pop. So it was kind of like a complete shock for me to even see them. So I went ahead and went on YouTube, and I looked into like who are they? I didn't know what their names were. And then I found BTS. Okay, so this is that song Butter. Cool like butter, like criminal undercover. I'm like, oh, it's a catchy little tune. And I'm depressed. So basically, when you're depressed and you listen to music, you start getting a little uplifted. So I was kind of like, oh, kind of like this. But then the dancing was like, okay, let me just back up a little bit. I loved Michael Jackson when I was younger. Like, I was in love with Jackson 5. Like, I was going to marry them. Like, like I was just like every other girl, I guess. But I really thought I was like going to marry them when I was really young. So seeing these young men actually moving like the Jacksons was just like, what? But then that was what got me in, like down the rabbit hole. What really made me keep going was I wanted to find out what they were saying in Korean, because a lot of their music will have like a line that is English in their song, just like a couple of lines, and it's kind of like the hook, But this song Butter was a actual English song, and I was like, oh, so the other songs they have are in Korean with the maybe hook of English. So let me go ahead and get some subtitles, English subtitles, and try to figure out what they're saying. So I did, and oh my goodness, the lyrics. And I love poetry. Like that's my thing. That's my jam. I've been doing poetry since I was young. When I was probably like before my teens. I love to write poetry. I love to read poetry. I love everything from Nikki Giovanni, Maya Angelou. Like I just love poetry. But I really love the poems that are kind of depressive and lift you up. And that's why even in the Bible I love Psalms, because Psalms to me are just poetry. The Psalms are just phenomenal for me. And when I was going to Catholic school, we had to memorize the Psalms. So I was always like, oh good, this is great, I can memorize this Psalm. And then I would like try to write poems that were like similar to those Psalms. But the word even Psalm sounds like songs. And so I thought I'll be a songwriter one day, you know. Anyway, so when I look at lyrics, I look at music for lyrics, really. I look at, when I listen to music, I look at two things. I look at the lyrics of the music. What does it make me feel? Because some lyrics are just horrible, just like depressing, and you know, they use such horrible language. So I was just like, this music, these lyrics are, the beats are really great. The dancing is phenomenal. Like their dancing is, whoa, whew. But when you add in what they're saying, and even on their little cool hits that aren't even that like, they're not like meant to really be that uplifting like Butter. When I heard that song, I was like, okay, it's cute. You know, it wasn't as deep as the other songs. Like my favorite, Epiphany with Jen, you should go right now, immediately after you finish watching my video. Go right now after you finish watching my video, after you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, go and look up Jen, J-I-N, Epiphany, and look at the lyrics. Oh, and if you've ever been a survivor of narcissistic abuse, Fake Love, another one. Oh my gosh. And I started going down that rabbit hole and looking at the lyrics and listening to the music and fake love, I'm so sick of your fake love, fake love. I mean, it's just like what they are saying in those lyrics. Spring Day. I'm gonna start crying. Then there were the fun songs, like Mic Drop, like, oh my goodness, I love that song. Run. Oh my God, this makes you want to get up and move. On, oh my goodness, On is phenomenal. Love that song. Let me think of some other favorites. I can't even. That's the thing about being a BTS army. The truth is, it's really hard to pick a favorite. Like when they say a bias, okay, I have to admit, I love Jimin. I'm a Jimin-aholic. Like, anytime I find anything that has to do with Jimin, I just love him, you know. I just love him. But Jen, I love Jen too. Jungkook, my goodness. V, woo. Then it's like, you can't not like Suga, because Suga is like the deepest of like deep. Like he is just, and he's incredibly talented. And he's like, okay, love Suga. RM, the leader of the band. The leader of the band. But not just the leader in the sense of like he's the first one that started in BTS, but compassionate, so serious sometimes too, and yet he can be so laid back and chill. But we cannot forget J-Hope. We cannot forget J-Hope. Like, Army, you're my hope. I'm J-Hope. He did this song about his mama. That was, you gotta look that one up. It's like a choir song. It almost reminds me of like a gospel song, but it's about his mama. And they love their family so much. When I hear Jin talk about his mother and talk about how he wanted to make his mother proud, and I hear Jimin talk about his dad and talk about, and I hear how Suga struggled, you know. He was a shooter, a basketball player. That's why they call him Suga, but it's a whole other story. But how he struggled to even be a part of the band and he injured himself and he still pushed through it. How Jin has hypermobility, like that's, he pushes through that, and yet he's not. He always will say, "I'm not the greatest dancer," but he is a great dancer. I'm so proud of him because he pushed through that. How Jimin would get up, they said, like, and hardly sleep at all, and just practice, practice, practice until he got it perfect. And he would be down on himself; he couldn't get it perfect, And then he would say things like, I just want to make y'all proud. I just want to make y'all proud. I want to be able for Army to have a good show. Army, was everything to them. And for me to be 50 something years old, looking at these guys who are struggling from day one to when they first started, they didn't have any legions of fans. They were having people go to their concerts for free. And they were working so hard. It's like, what am I complaining about? I'm married to someone who is constantly putting me down. And this is proof that there are men out there. There are young men out there who are giving hope to the world. When they gave money to the Black Lives Matter movement, that was like, they didn't have to do that. I believe it was like $1 million to the Black Lives Movement. It might have been 2 million, but they made sure that Army would match it. They said, please match the donation. And that was so great. And there's Asian hate. So they went to the UN, they talked about peace, they talked about how we could change the world. We're just caring about each other. And they also talked to the president. They have done so many things that you don't have to do as an artist. So when I see these artists that are out there not contributing back to the community, not talking about world peace, not talking about uplifting people, not talking about trying to help others that are depressed, or the young people that are going through whatever struggle it could be, and I just see them writing lyrics that are just stupid. It's depressing. It's like, I don't want to listen to that music. Like, if you aren't saying something about something that's of value, and if you're not doing something, I can just turn on BTS, and they've got so many songs that I can groove to, feel good about, and get me out of my funk. So, if you do not understand what makes people want to love BTS after what I've just explained, then this is not the video for you. This is not the channel for you. My channel is all about describing survivorship and understanding survivorship, especially when it comes to depression, especially when it comes to narcissism, and especially when it comes to trying to help people who don't feel like they have anywhere or anyone to go to. So if I've helped anyone at all understand why I am BTS Army, I'm so glad that I helped you. But if you could share this video and tell more people, and if you could watch my other videos that talk about my survivorship, it's just me telling my stories. It's just my point of view. And it's silly. Sometimes I'm going to try to get some fun videos in there because I am a silly person a lot of the time. I don't have this idea of myself that I can't be completely open, and I can't say things that are kind of like, okay, this is how I feel, this is how I am. So sometimes the videos might be like, oh, she actually said that. Yeah, I did. I said that. So, or I did that. But anyway, I'm surviving every day. But whenever I get depressed or I get sad about anything, my health issues, or dealing with the court system while I'm trying to go through my divorce, or dealing with not having my children, losing my house, losing my children was the worst. That's the worst. And at that point, it's like, when you've lost everything and you're at the bottom, take my house. Go ahead. Take all my belongings. Go ahead. Take everything. But when I do these videos, I feel like if something happens to me and I don't survive a health issue, I got it out here. So I could maybe help somebody else. And maybe my daughters will one day look back at the video and go, oh, that's what mom was thinking about. Probably 20 years from now. Who knows when it will be. But BTS has helped me survive. And I hope it can help you. If you listen to their music, I can't even tell you my favorite song, but I know that one that I try to get up to every morning is the song called Idol, which says in it, you can't stop me loving myself. And I have to tell myself that I'm beautiful. I have to tell myself that I have value because it didn't come easily in my marriage for 25 years. I have to tell myself that I can do things I don't think are in my back of my head. I don't think I can do. I have to say it constantly. And so whenever I hear certain things from BTS, it's like I got somebody else on my side. And when I know there's an army of people that are also believing like me, I know that I can get through this and I can survive it. So that's my video. If I helped you at all, please share, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. And I really appreciate y'all for hearing my story. God bless you.